2 in 3 Canadians expressed concern about Omicron spread. Canadians are also questioning how many shots we will need in the future. 56% say they are worried about potential long-term effects of boosters, with worry highest among those aged 18 to 24. Still, nearly 4 out of 5 people polled agreed they would get a booster shot without hesitation.
Well, what we're seeing is that Canadians hold a lot of contradictory opinions in their minds about boosters and vaccines. I mean, when we were asking these questions a while ago, I mean, it was overwhelming that people were excited about vaccines and potentially what they could do to get this pandemic behind us. But there's a growing skepticism about whether or not it will ever, get us past this. But the interesting thing is, in spite of that, people still, majorities of the population still feel that they would personally get a vaccine. And certainly what we're seeing is that a large percentage, majority of the Canadians that we interviewed say that it should actually be mandatory. So even though they don't know that it's actually going to put the pandemic behind us, what they do believe is that it makes people safer. And what it shows you is how sophisticated people's thinking is getting about this. So it's just not, one answer for every question. You find people can hold a couple of views that might appear contradictory, but actually are pretty logical. The idea that, first of all, that the vaccine isn't getting this pandemic behind us, well, because it hasn't. So, they are paying attention to the fact that we're still struggling with this and they're still dealing with it. But by the same token, they do believe that it makes people safer. So personally, it does something for you. But in terms of actually ending the situation that we're in, no, they don't feel at the moment that it's enough to get us past that. Well, we see some regional distributions, and we also see some demographic distributions. Interestingly enough, men are more supportive of vaccines than women, which is not something on healthcare issues that you normally see. But yeah, depending on where people are in the pandemic, what's been going on, what has been their experience, they tend to be more supportive or less. Alberta, being the one of the places where it's more controversial, and places like Atlantic Canada where it's less controversial. But what you're seeing, though, is instead of everybody being on one side of this issue now, there's a certain amount of diversity of opinions.